Welcome to the Post 2 frequency system, user Canis Ru. Please enter action into prompt. Play audio file recording 7.wave. Playing audio file now.
Hello, dear listeners. It is Tawny Jackson, Auraria's one and only host for ASU Student Radio. I hope you have all had a good week and are keeping well. I have had a decent week myself, nothing particularly special, but I have been doing well in my classes so far since this is just week 4 for ASU Spring 2021 semester, though it is weird seeing so few people at the university nowadays. In my first year, this place was filled with students, but currently not so much. Last year, after everything that happened, the board decided to suspend all new accepted students until the fall 2021 semester since we are under active investigation, and they didn't want new people coming in and potentially making their job twice as hard. Which really sucks for a lot of people. I remember last spring talking with some of the new potential students that got accepted, and I had been looking forward to meeting them, but none of them ever got to come. God, I honestly hope the university apologized to them about it, but knowing the current staff here, that may have been an afterthought. But yeah, because of that, there's basically no freshman class, which is strange to see. And it left the dorms and cabins basically empty in some areas. And there was no freshman initiation like there usually is. Though that's probably a good thing. I managed to even snag a cabin for myself this year. Not that I didn't really like the dorms, but the cabins are kind of nicer and quieter at night, so it's easier to sleep. Also, my cabin has a fireplace, which is really cool. It would be cooler if I knew how to use it. I mean, I can start a fire if I need to, but this is one of those fancy, complicated fireplaces. I had hoped to potentially have a roommate that would know how to do it, so I wouldn't have to bother learning. But I didn't even have a roommate assignment this semester. It's just me living in this cabin. There are just 2 other empty rooms taking up space. I mean, I'm not actually complaining about not having roommates. It's nice to have this much privacy. But it does get kind of creepy sometimes. This place can be so quiet all the time. And it doesn't help that the cabins are placed the furthest away from the main campus, so if you live out here, it feels super secluded. The seclusion is actually like one of the main selling points for the cabins, and that's the main reason I initially chose to stay in them this semester. I thought I liked the seclusion and the forest noises because they were peaceful. Not so much anymore. Timothy used to say that the real selling points of the cabins were that if you wanted to do stuff that was against the campus rules, like drink and smoke, you could and no one could catch you because of the privacy. He was right. The cabin closest to mine always... It's a fire hazard. But speaking of Timothy, I actually wanted to talk about him for a bit. I thought that since I'm using the recordings as a way to work through my thoughts, that I might dedicate a section each episode to talking about my friends as a sort of memorial for them. I want you, whoever's listening to this, to know them like I knew them. So this week, Timothy, next June, and then Michael. So Timothy, where to start? Well, I can start off by telling you who he was to me. Timothy was my best friend. I have known him since we were very young. I think it was about 14 years ago when we first met in elementary school. Okay, it was the first day before the start of first grade, and at our school, they had the orientation night where everyone meets the teachers with their parents. And in our classroom, okay, he doesn't introduce himself to me first. No. He goes up to my mom and says, "The ladies love me because my curls are sexy." Just completely unprompted. And yeah, I mean, this kid's got a mess of curls on his head, but I'm like 6, so I have no idea what the word sexy means. And so while my mom is recovering from this wild 6-year-old statement, I slide up to him and ask, "What is sexy?" And he gets this look on his face like he didn't think he'd get this far and didn't even take a chance to try and think, you know what actually is sexy? Just completely shocked he got this far and decides to say, "I don't know, you want to see my Scooby-Doo books?" And that was that. Great friends ever since. I mean, we didn't really get to see each other for a little while because he got skipped up a couple grades, I think because he was really good at maths. And so in high school, we didn't always get to see each other very much. But once I got into college, we both decided to attend ASU. We got to spend more time with each other again. And okay, I just remembered another good story. So I've spoken about this before a little bit, but not what he did during this. So ASU has a freshman initiation that has to do with an old mine and local urban legends. And during mine, I knocked over some tiki torches and candles that they had laid out for atmosphere or something, and I knocked them over accidentally because someone spooked me, and lo and behold, I lit the floor on fire, and everyone just backs off in vain while I try to stomp out the flames in this dank old abandoned mine. And Timothy, well, he was a junior at the time, so he had already experienced this whole thing and knew that my clumsy ass would be the one to screw something up like this. And even though he told me he wasn't going to be coming, he lied so he could come videotape it. And so when I catch the floor on fire, he rushes in from the back of the crowd and joins me in trying to stomp out the flames until he looks down and sees, oh shit, my pant leg's on fire. So okay, so drop, stop, drop, and roll is a thing, right? Yeah, Timothy in the moment just forgets that's the thing and thinks, okay, how do I put the fire out? Water. Where's some water? In the pond. This dude, instead of trying to put the fire out, was smothering it somehow. He thinks, I'm gonna pick her up, put her in the pond. And so while I'm flipping out, this man starts to half pick me up, half drag me to the water. And once I realize what he's doing, I'm trying to get out of his arms because I cannot swim. But he manages to get me in the water and thinks, okay, crisis averted. Good job, Timothy. Saved my friend. But not really, because I can't fucking swim. And I start flipping out in the pond, flapping my arms and yelling at him to help. This dumbass didn't remember that I couldn't swim until after he had pulled me in. So once I start yelling, he's like, oh, what have I done? T's gonna drown. So he jumps in, manages to drag me out of the water, and now we are no longer allowed to do the freshman initiation because 1, fire, 2, nearly drowning. Though I doubt anyone would outmatch me and Timothy's level of dumbass that day. Timothy and Michael said that after that I definitely needed swimming lessons and they would do it if they had to. But they never got to. I'll never get to do a lot of things now. We always took a lot of trips together over the years to parks and museums and a lot of other interesting places. When he graduated, we were going to go to West Virginia and go to all the road stop museums for Mothman and other stupid things like that. So many plans that we have for the future. His future are gone now. I'm sorry, it's just painful to talk about, but I need to. I know it's important. I think that's it for right now. I don't think I can say any more at the moment. But I hope you've enjoyed listening. This is Tawny Jackson signing off. Have a good week and good night.
Action Play audio file recording 7.wave has been completed. User Canisru, you have one unopened message from guest user 15. Would you like to read it? Please enter yes or no into prompt. No. Okay, messaging system will not be opened. Please enter next action into prompt. End session. Ending session now. Thank you for using the post 2 frequency system, Canisru.